Welcome to the Higher Energy Superpower. This is episode 36 of the Turbo Duo Cast. I am your host, Salvatore Mata, and to my left is my brother from another game show lover. He is the oral assassin. He puts the ass in classic gaming. It's Trenton E. Wright the Third, Esquire. All right, enough. And returning, I say returning, but yeah, he's just a regular podcast member. It is Turbo Duo and a Half. It is Salvatore
Kermit the Frog.
Superstar Salvatore Thomas Mata. Welcome aboard.
Yeah.
Choo choo. How we doing, boys?
Good.
How we feeling? It's a new year. It's 2023. New opportunities. And
there's always new opportunities.
We're really excited about 2023, but not excited enough to not review.
Not excited
That's
enough
a lot
to
of
not.
knots. That's a lot
You
of
better
knots.
not say that again.
To not review our year last year, our 2022. A lot happened last year.
It just zoomed by.
You know, as they do as we get older, years go by faster and faster. The busier we are, and the buzzier we get.
The buzzier?
Yeah, is that a word?
Nope. I'll keep going.
All right. So we wanted to just do a little review episode before we get back into our standard operating procedure of video game reviews and some interviews. You know, if we could partake this year, that'll be one thing we get into is some of the goals for the podcast. I think as we move forward here, I think we're technically this is going to be the 4th or 5th year of the podcast.
Oh, geez.
We did it.
Sure.
We started it, I think, in 19, didn't we?
Yeah, like the end of
19.
yeah,
Very
with the 32X.
Yep, that was late in the year. So
Was it 2019?
I think so, because I think it was before
Yeah.
it was before the pandemic.
Yeah, you're right. You're right.
So I think now this might not be technically the 5th year yet. Maybe it's further in the year where we're going to reach our anniversary. But
I mean, we started. I mean, we
it's
started.
crazy to think that we're in that realm, anyways.
We started like the videos before that, though. You know, like maybe I think it was that summer probably.
You mean the audio only?
No, the video.
The video portion.
With the Teenage
No.
Mutant
I'm
Ninja
saying
Turtles one?
before we actually did the podcast, we did like the pickups, unboxing.
We did do
Play some bad Saturn fighting games.
Yep, I went out to Danbury and I did that little 10-minute thing or whatever with Sal, who's the first person to let anybody know to ring a bell, which I had no idea what that was.
Ring that bell.
What happened?
When we went out to the Danbury Mall. Anyways,
Is that when... Oh, I thought you were talking about the flea market when you gave me the Nintendo for free.
no, that was much further back.
Well, that was you. Because you gave it to me because I fixed it.
That was you.
Yeah.
'Cause-
So we're gonna be reviewing 2020. Thank you, Sal, for your contribution. I can't wait to hear.
We're actually going to review 2018.
About that's what it sounded like we were doing, which would be great, but I don't think it would be something that is top of the line news.
but that was my first system.
It was your first system, a Super Nintendo. We need to work on your Super Nintendo collection. We're already working on the Sega Genesis collection, but that'll be the next thing we have to work
I think
on.
everyone needs to work on their Super Nintendo
Yeah,
collection.
it is true. We talk about this all the time about how we don't really think of Super Nintendo games, but there are some out there. It's just we've been ad nauseum with the issues with the Super Nintendo and
it's the friend that move across the U.S. He's still there, but
right.
it's like what is he up to?
Yeah, I wonder what he's doing.
And then you just kind of forget and go back to your other friends.
Yes, that's actually a really good analogy.
I mean, you do.
I don't feel good with that though. Like I don't feel great about that. You know? Like the other day I plugged in Toy Story for Super Nintendo. Played great. Really?
Is it real? I mean, why would you play that as opposed to just the Genesis one?
Because it's harder than the Genesis one for me. Because
of the screen?
Because the screen is cropped. Yeah. And I do like it because there's more color in the game, and it's got a little bit better sound.
Okay.
But it's a harder version of the same game.
We did go over this 5 years ago.
We did. Check out our Toy Story episode.
Solid episode.
Yeah, when we talked about that. So I guess the first thing I want to talk about is, just kind of review is
as we do here,
because we're gonna be going through some favorites of the year as far as different aspects of the podcast. But the first thing what I want to know is, and I ask this every podcast, is
I want to know
is what are we playing right now? You know,
what the F are you playing?
You know, what's hitting in the skids, so to speak. You know,
the skids or the skins?
In the skids.
Oh,
hitting in the skids.
Are you gonna ask what our favorite games of the year were?
Oh, he was on his way to do that.
We're going to do that, but I'm just saying what are some of the things that are hitting right now, or in the recent past in 2022 at the end of the year that we were playing, that we were having some fun with. You know, what are we playing now? What were we playing a couple of weeks ago? You know, is there anything that's really sort of speaking to you as far as gaming is concerned?
What's really calling you right now?
Yeah, you know, I can say for myself. I've had a blast playing some, of course, some Genesis games. You know, as
all day.
You know, we enjoy on this podcast. I was actually able to finally clear Felios, which I mentioned on a podcast, I don't know, a year ago, that we got to the final boss, and I just died about 17 times after that. And
the boss.
On the boss, and I was able to figure it out. Literally, and be able to
correct your
that.
mistakes.
Yeah, and I tell you, it feels great. It feels great to beat a shooter in general. And I know that if you're a shooter fan, Felios is probably on the bottom of the totem pole as far as difficulty is concerned. But for me, you know, I'm challenged by almost any shooter. You know, it tells you about my skill level. But was finally able to get through that. Just a fantastic game, and it motivated me.
Not a long game, right?
No.
Like an hour?
Yeah. In fact, I plugged it in just to kind of test it on the PVM to kind of see how it would look.
Yeah.
And I ended up just getting sucked into it and played it one morning.
Just gonna see how it looks.
Yeah, I was just like, I'm gonna just see how it looks. And so that, you know, Felios is a fantastic game. It's kind of a shame that it's gone up in price now, because I don't think that there's any other way to play it than either emulating maybe the arcade version or the Genesis version, or getting it on the Sega.
Who made that? Namco?
Yeah, it's a Namco game. I don't know if it's been on a compilation or not. Let us know if you guys know of a compilation. I don't think there's a compilation with it, but it's a great conversion of that arcade game too. You know, there's a lot of color in that game. There's some, fake scaling that they do kind of going into the screen. And it's just a great game. So if you have the opportunity to play it, I would definitely recommend it. Not too difficult. If you're not if you're not a shooter regular, you can still kind of get the flavor of it and get into it and learn some of the mechanics. But that was fun. And then I didn't beat this game, but I got very, very far into it. I've always wanted to kind of play through it, and that's Midnight Resistance. I've dabbled in it a little bit, but one thing I noticed with that game is the sound. It's just throughout the whole game. Not even just Flood of Power, just like the transitions when you're in the transition rooms where you can buy new items between levels, and it's just, you hear that.
Oh yeah, like when you're running across.
It's like a fire alarm is going off, but it sounds fantastic. Any Genesis sound before the Gems driver that came out, it tends to have a very unique sound, a very early Genesis sound. And Midnight Resistance is one of those games that has that. And that's another, Data East game that we talk about, sort of that mid-tier developer, but, like another game that I think is pretty much landlocked to the Genesis, right? I don't think that there's another
Midnight Resistance.
Yeah. I mean, it's possible. And if it's not yet, it's possible that it would come out.
Oh, it wasn't on one of the minis, was it?
I don't think so.
No.
It might be. I don't know. The Genesis 2, you mean?
Like the new one they put out? I don't know.
What about on the on the Data East collection on the the Versus
on the VS?
The Evercade?
No, it's not on there.
It's not on that one?
No.
What about Heavy Barrel, which is like the precursor to Midnight Resistance?
I don't know if it's on that, but I know it's been on other random, like those those like consoles with they have like the loaded games in them. I know I think it, like on what was that one I got you a while back? Remember that one? The
Anbernick?
No. Remember the arcade system?
Oh, the one that had Burger Time. Yeah, I have it still. It's downstairs.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's Heavy Barrel's been on like one of those kind of systems or whatever.
Heavy Barrel is one that's probably a little bit easier to pick up. That's for the NES, and that's the precursor, as far as I know, to Midnight Resistance.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and
it might be on. Wait, is it on on your thing? No. What am I thinking of?
No, that's Konami.
No. I know. Heavy Barrel. It might be on one of those VS ones.
Well, if you can't play Midnight Resistance,
I don't know.
Heavy Barrel is another one that's fantastic. It's kind of a Contra-like
Heavy Barrel
game. Yep. So that's been a lot of fun. I started up playing again Doom PS1 the other day. So that's I always go back to Doom. It always goes back to Doom.
How many systems can you play it on at once?
At once?
It's
I mean, two maybe,
well,
one in each hand.
You know, you're playing it on 32X, and then it's like, all right, I'm gonna go play it on the PlayStation. I'm playing it on my Switch. It's it's like I'm on the 5th level in this one, the 3rd level here, the 10th level on that one.
And let me ask you, is there anything wrong with that?
No, it's just
Focus?
no, it's just. I mean, I know it's always the running gag is like, can it play Doom? But I mean, people just say that they don't actually play it on every system.
The one I really want to concentrate on is the PS1 version.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like, we were playing it last night, and Sal's like, Dad, this looks horrible. And I'm like, are you kidding? This looks fantastic. It just tells you the difference between, like, what an 8-year-old
on the
sees.
PS1?
Yeah.
No, but I like
where
the
are you playing
Switch
it?
version.
On
The Switch version
on the PVM?
has more.
Well,
like,
yeah, the Switch. Well, obviously, the Switch version is going to be the best looking one.
It was upscaled through the FrameMeister, and it looks fantastic on the big screen.
Oh yeah,
It really does.
on the PS1.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Well, it's actually the PS2
Well, yeah,
playing PS1
Yeah.
games through the component. So
I gotcha.
But yeah, that's kind of it. I mean, I'll talk about some other stuff like what we did over the holidays, because I think a lot of things are just hitting right now. They're just it's like I can't put in a game and not feel like it's just clicking. You know, I feel like I'm in a good groove of games. The other day I put in a stall for Saturn. I was playing that on the PVM, and just an awesome.
Blew me away. Blew me away.
First of all, the color and the graphics in that game on a PVM monitor, as my people say, forget about it. But just even the gameplay, it's just tight and simple, and the animation is amazing in that game, and you know, just a really fun time. So I just feel like everything I'm plugging in right now is just hitting.
Everybody's clicking up.
Yeah, exactly. So they don't feel alone.
21.
But what about you, Trent? What are you doing right now? What's gaming with consequences?
Nothing too hard and heavy like those. I've been like the past week. I've been I don't, how do you not mention it? So through the CRT that you got me, the modded CRT.
Oh yeah.
With the Scott. Yep. I got that set up with my cube organizer, and I got the little puck lights under it.
Right.
So it looks real legit. Oh, and I got the Lazy Susan thing to spin the TV
you did
around.
Get that, yeah.
It's solid. Yeah.
I mean, that's quality of life stuff right there, you know?
Yeah, it's great. Just take the just spin it around.
That whole, I mean, we'll talk about all the ways that you improved your gaming setup, you know, and just like I did the same thing, so we'll kind of get into that a little bit.
Too many things.
Yeah. It was a good end of the year.
I've been playing like the past week. I was playing. Like I'll like get home, or like I'll get home from work and then like play it for like a little bit and then head back out. I'll play some Super Street Fighter 2 on the Genesis.
I mean,
it's great. How
do you like that compared to Championship Edition?
So because you asked me, and I was like, I remember seeing like videos of people saying like the music, or I don't know what it was. Just
everything's hyperbole.
Yeah,
right?
You know, if you compare it to this version or whatever. I guess they butchered them. I don't know, man. I guess I
don't care if you play the Turbo version, if you play the Super Nintendo version, if you play the Sega version. Here's the thing: none of those are like egregious in any way. They're all very, very good.
I just remember a bunch of people saying that, like the music on it was like not as
garbled
great.
Or something.
But I don't know, because I played that one and I'm like, all right, and then I popped in Championship Edition after that.
Oh, look at you!
Just to like see like if it was like oh.
But Championship Edition came in earlier.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have as much memory or whatever.
No, it doesn't. Because it only has like the 12 characters, where the Super Street Fighter 2 has 16.
Oh, does it have 16 characters?
Like,
T-Hawk,
Cammy. Yeah, there's
Fei Long.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
So I don't know. It's I actually like the way the Super Street Fighter 2 plays, I feel like even though it's supposed to be, I feel like it's supposed to be like the faster version. I think it goes a little bit slower, just a little bit slower
Really?
than the Championship Edition to me. But I mean, you could change the settings on it. But I just like the way it plays better because you can do kind of those like 2-3 hit like combo kind of deals. So I just kind of like the way it plays better. I don't know. It's fun. Either way, either one you play is
It's all
great.
good though. I mean, you get two versions, whatever one you like better.
Yeah, control's great.
See, I like a difference of opinion. Sometimes it's like an Abilene paradox or something. Like everybody just starts talking.
As they say.
Everybody just starts talking together, and like you don't even know how you got where you got, but you're there, and you're just like, no, this is the right version. But you know why? Why is that? And have you actually done a deep dive to look into it? You know, you like Super Street Fighter 2. That's a minority opinion, but I like that. I want that. You know,
I want that.
and I want to know why. You know, so it's don't ever necessarily take what we have to say or what other people have to say as the creed. You know, go out and play the games and see if you like them. I mean, I destroyed X-Men on our X-Men podcast.
Well, nobody likes that.
But I mean, you know what? There's somebody out there that might like it. I kind of almost hate it.
No, they think they like it because it's X-Men and they grew up watching X-Men and they want to like it, but they don't.
Maybe X-Men's a bad example.
But I understand what you're saying though. So I've been playing that and I don't know. I keep playing it, but I don't know what it is. I'm just not good. Is Super Baseball 2020?
It's hard.
I can get like 2 hits in the whole game. I don't know if it's like my timing.
I mean, graphically, it is a fantastic game.
It plays so great.
Yeah,
but
it's too zoomed in on the field view. So
like
when
the outfield,
when the ball goes out, it's hard.
But it does kind of have like it's like the computer assisted field. Like
they go.
I mean, anytime the ball gets hit, it's usually towards like if it's a pop fly, like the guy will be underneath it already. You know what I mean?
So you don't have to move your controller.
Not usually. I mean, if
you wait until the ball's landing. And then decide if you're going to be moving the controller.
I mean, you move it a little bit, but like when there's like a pop fly, you usually your character's like already like under the ball. You know what I mean? Okay. But I mean, it's fun. I just I don't know what it is. It's so like,
maybe read the manual or look at a video guide. It's
just harder. It's just hard to get like like consecutive hits. You get like a hit and then you'll just not strike out, but you just.
I mean, there's games like
pop
that.
Out all the time.
There's games like that where playing against the computer is really difficult. Like I know. You know, probably a game not many people have played, but Reggie Jackson Baseball on the Master System. It's the precursor to Tommy Lasorda or Sports Talk Baseball.
Yeah.
Same mechanics, but I remember playing that a couple of times and I lost like 25 to nothing.
Why would you even continue playing it after it got to like 15?
Just because I wanted to experience it a little bit more and figure it out. Like, okay, what am I doing wrong? You know, continue to play. But that game was brutal. So a lot of these games are, you know, good thing they're sports games because you can play against somebody else. So if you have a friend over, you can pop in Super Baseball, really enjoy it, you know, get a 6-pack, a Busch Light, you know, and, you know, have at it.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Busch Light is just a placeholder.
Yeah.
For whatever.
Anything you want.
Just whatever your pleasure is. So, you know, Super Baseball 2020?
2020.
You know, that's a good game to play, you know, with a friend. Don't tell me you're already getting tired because you're next. So you better be ready to talk about what you're playing. All right. See you rubbing your eyes over here. All right. It's not even. It's 5 o'clock.
It's been 18 minutes.
Anything else?
Have I been playing? No, just those two.
I mean, that's a solid
in the past week.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I'll bring it. Because I was playing it because we.
You can play too much.
We had mentioned
there can be too much if you're trying to just hit everything. It's hard to sink your teeth into.
No, yeah, and I was just.
You know?
I was playing. So as I had hooked up the 64 on the TV, because you had popped it in when you were here, and kind of wanted to get back into it, and I had to get a controller pack for it. Was the World Is Not Enough?
Is it ever?
No. Yeah, so I kind of wanted to get back into playing that. I'm on the 3rd level in that one. I haven't picked it up in like a week, but I started to get back into that one.
An 11-year-old told me what I was doing wrong in the first level.
What do you mean an 11-year-old told you?
A 10-year-old, excuse me. Sal's friend Wayne.
You were playing it and he...
No. They play it up when they go to like their grandparents' extra house in Maine or something.
They played that specific game?
Oh yeah, because Tony's favorite game is GoldenEye, and so they play The World Is Not Enough when they go up to Maine. The kids play The World Is Not Enough, and so Wayne, Sal's friend, says the reason why you're not succeeding in the first level is because you're keeping your weapon drawn when you go down to the security office. I'm like,
He's true. That is true.
Okay, Wayne, thanks, man. I mean, that's awesome advice. I didn't know that was the case. I haven't
He's not wrong.
No, I know he's not wrong. It was like that's great advice from a 10-year-old.
Yeah, after you get everything, you gotta go through back to security, but you can't have your gun drawn, or they arrest.
I didn't know why I was failing. Now
That's awesome.
yeah, I got advice from a 10-year-old that was valid.
He's like, you idiot! What are you doing? You can't have your gun out.
Well, first of all,
You noob.
I like a child that's not my son playing old video games.
Hey.
That's
from
hilarious.
that age and being involved. You know, it's good. I think it's good for kids to play some of that old stuff because
I do play old.
It's awesome.
What are you talking about?
No, he's saying that also in addition to.
Yeah, as well as you having other children that are playing that. So if you're a dad and you got a kid at that age,
That's definitely a random. That's like a. It is, but it is a. I say
It's a
it
deeper
isn't,
cut.
but it is.
It's a deeper
for,
cut,
for like a
knowing-
10-year-old to play.
knowing how big GoldenEye is.
To play The World Is Not Enough.
I mean, it'd be enough for him to tell me how to beat a level in GoldenEye. You know what I mean?
Like, how do you even know this game exists?
Yeah, so there's lots to talk about with The World Is Not Enough, and I think our first game podcast is going to be on GoldenEye and The World Is Not Enough next podcast, and we're going to have a guest, coming speaker.
Guest speaker of the house.
My good brother from another mother, Tony, and who's a GoldenEye fanatic, so he's going to give us a little bit of a download on GoldenEye and some of his perceptions of it, which will be a fun first game. I mean that. I was gonna save this for the end, but I think one of my goals for the podcast for 2023 is to do some more gaming reviews. We didn't do a ton of that in 2022.
What's gaming reviews?
So I would like to get back to doing more games, but that being said, I had a ton of fun in 2022. We'll get into that. Sal,
22.
before we continue forward, what are you playing right now that's different from what you were playing
the last time
we talked? You can't say Minecraft. You can't say Piggy.
I haven't been playing that.
Okay, so what have you been playing?
I've been playing Hello Neighbor.
How do I know what you've been playing?
What?
But you don't.
What else? Anything else?
No.
No? Okay.
No, you haven't played Fall Guys at all?
Oh yes, Fall Guys. I was gonna say it. I was thinking about saying it.
Wait. No, you were
but I
going to say
forgot
it, but I was
about
like, I don't know, there's nothing else. What do you mean you were going to say it?
I forgot about it because I was thinking before when you were talking.
I think out of all the games we've talked about, this is about the most wild and crazy out of any of the games that we've talked about.
Fall Guys.
What is Fall Guys on? Is it on like a 64 or Genesis or what?
No.
What is it on?
No.
What is Fall Guys on? And what kind of game is it? Tell the people.
So it's a game with all of like these characters. They're like oval shaped characters. You can like customize from every like season. There's like
What's the gameplay, Sal?
the gameplay, like levels.
What are you doing it?
What do you do in the game?
You have to
Is it an online game or is it a regular game where you're just
online game.
Okay.
So you can play it on the Nintendo Switch, PS5 or PS4. You can play it on Xbox. What else?
PC.
Really?
And all the players can play with each other on all those different systems.
Yes, but you can only play with 4 people. You can't play with anybody else. You can just play with 4 people.
How many there okay, so describe what you do in the game.
Didn't I just say that?
What do you do in the game?
I said you gotta qualify and go through these hard levels and not try to get flung off or eliminated. You don't want to get eliminated. And there's a little like thing at the top that says people have qualified. So like 8 of like 38. and like
So the game is a series of challenges.
It's basically like an extended version of the Mario Party games in a way.
It's a series of challenges where characters are running to the finish line with obstacles in their way, or they're trying to navigate an obstacle where they need to stay on a platform or not fall off or not get knocked off, and bomb each other to get knocked off, to stay and knock other people off of the platform. It is a series of challenges where you need to be the last person at the very end. And after every round, less and less people are qualifying for the next level. And by the end of it, there might be 9 people left. There's 60 that start, and you have to try to be the last person surviving. And it's just wild, wacky, frenetic fun.
Wild and wacky. Very addicting.
if you guys want to hear some information, the hardest level is tail tag.
What was that word?
Tail tag.
Affirmation?
Information.
Information.
You didn't say that, but I know.
No, I said information.
Okay.
And it's what I like about it, and what reminds me of classic gaming is just how pick up and play it is. There's 3 buttons. It's
mindless.
jump, dive, and grab.
Yeah.
Those are the 3 buttons that you have,
Duck,
and
dodge, and dive.
and that's it. And you just go, and it can be
fun.
a blast. Lately, what we've been doing is getting on FaceTime with Alan at his house on his Xbox. We've been FaceTiming with him while playing on the PS5 and the Switch, and he's been on his Xbox, and it works flawlessly. There's almost no hiccups. You almost never get kicked out of a match.
Well, why
No,
would
it
you?
happens. They happened to me
Just a
once. They
network
kicked
issue.
me out of the
Yeah.
match. They kicked me out of the match once. Remember?
Once out of the many dozens of times that we've played.
It definitely plays better on the PS5.
Well, you got to think about having 60 players all coagulating together and just.
Well, I mean, that wouldn't. I don't know what when you play it on the handheld and the Switch. I don't know something about. I don't know if it's just the
animation.
controls.
The animation is cut down.
Feels a little laggy.
tremendously.
It feels a little laggy or something.
The animation is cut, so it's like you're not. It's not smooth.
Yeah,
It's not running
you
smoothly.
could definitely tell the difference. And I'm not usually one who like to complain about that. But like when I was playing it on the PS5, and then it was my turn to play on the Switch.
I can't play it.
It
on
was
the Switch.
it was rough.
Yeah, I have a hard time. A lot of games now, more recently, are having trouble. Those multi-platform games, like I talked about, Sonic Frontiers, I think last podcast.
That's the worst game ever. Ever.
Wow,
Ever.
That's a bold.
Ever.
Is it really? Is it not good?
We just mentioned X-Men like 5 seconds ago. But that's a game where it's on PS5. It works awesome, and then the Switch is just buggy and slow and looks like a PS2 game.
Would it have Sonic Frontiers for the Nintendo Switch?
No, but I watch videos.
Yeah. So there.
Cool.
So there.
So everybody's having fun playing games, guys. There's no shortage of games to play. So if you're not finding a something that's hitting,
That's on you.
there's a bunch of ideas right there. As far as the retro gaming market, I mean, I came out pretty strong the past couple of podcasts talking about the bubble popping in retro gaming, and I don't know if I was entirely right with that. Now that I've kind of looked back, some of it has.
You just wanted it to.
That too, but some of it has. Some of it definitely has, but a lot of it, especially the really choice stuff, has not really dropped.
I don't know. I don't think it will.
It's like pricing in the U.S. at large. It's like, they say inflation is subsiding, but it's not really. The things aren't going back to the way they were in 2021.
Yeah, that's what usually happens.
Once the rise, once the rise happens, it's there.
It's like, yeah, you'll still buy it for this price. So
wait, you're already paying for it now. You might as well just continue to pay for it.
Why
right?
lower it? Yeah.
While we're in the middle of the egg debacle. What are eggs now?
I don't know. I think it's still the same.
But
Around
$7 to $10 for a dozen.
Yeah, depending on
Daddy,
on what
Mommy
you get.
showed me this video on Facebook. It's like people are like rapping about like eggs.
Oh, they're the coolest people in the neighborhood because they have eggs.
No,
Yeah, it's the Mike Jones.
Yeah.
Back then they didn't want me.
Yeah,
Now I'm hot. All on me.
They're all on me.
Who? Mike Jones.
Yep. So getting into our review, I wanted to know
Our review.
if I may, what was your favorite episode of the year?
Oh.
What was your?
I mean, I'm biased to myself.
I know.
I'd like to take some time out to talk about myself. So just to review with everybody, review with everybody so that they know. The first episode we did of the year was
the year in review one.
Well, we did our year, but we did our. It was the where you talked about the links, that year in review episode. But we talked about Cruising USA. We had an interview with Marcelo from Crossface Gaming. We had our Retro World Expo video, our X-Men and X-Mutants video, then our road trip to Retro Game Con. And then last podcast, we had a polite little light conversation with you guys.
I know my favorite episode.
Go ahead, Sal. What was your favorite episode?
The one where we went. Which shows it? The Syracuse show.
The Syracuse show. That was my least favorite show.
I know. That was my least. But
wait. Are you saying least favorite episode or the show?
The show was my least favorite show. But
episode wise, that was your favorite?
That was your favorite episode?
Because I got to take a picture with Glamrock Freddy. Of course.
Oh. Yeah. He was definitely Glamrock. That's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Shamrock Shake.
Yeah. What about you, Trent? What was your favorite episode?
Because I'm biased to myself.
Yes.
So mine was the Retro World Expo.
World Expo.
Because I had that killer trade for Fight for Life.
Oh, yeah.
I felt real good about that. I was coming off a high,
So that made it your favorite episode.
Yeah, and I just think because the show itself, because we met Tim Kitzrow from NBA Jam.
Yeah, that was an experience.
I mean, just that. We did a whole episode just on that, just meeting him, and
it was a special moment. That definitely was, and we got to implant that video of him.
Yeah,
kind of introducing the Turbo Duo cast, which is really special. It could almost be the new intro to our podcast.
It could be. I think we mentioned that before. I just
we probably should do.
Forgot about
we probably should do that.
Yeah.
Is at least the audio from that is implant that as the audio, even if the title card is going to be.
Yeah. I think that was a good show.
Yeah.
That the Retro World Expo, and I think that the episode was too.
But it highlighted how the flip side, how poor Syracuse was, and I know that we're hard on Syracuse, and maybe that's coming across a little.
Syracuse had the worst food ever.
ever.
Yes, ever. But I had to eat a giant pretzel, which is really good.
Yeah, that's rough.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Which I shared it with.
But conversely, it because Hartford was so good, I think it really dwarfed Syracuse. Syracuse. Listen, anytime you get to go to a game show, it's you gotta.
Yeah, I mean it's fun.
It's fun.
It's fun because it was bad. I mean, in a way, it made it better.
What?
You whispered to me.
Can I have water, please?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
No, I think that was a very fun episode that we did. I enjoyed it. It wasn't my favorite episode of the year, though. I think I think having new experiences on the podcast is really good. I like when we can get a little bit more interactive on this podcast, and I think it expands, us in terms of our practice of podcasting. But it also, I think, it brings a different flavor to the podcast, and kind of elevates our podcast a little bit. So we had just a great participant in Marcelo for our interview, episode 31. If you haven't heard it. Check it out, because
a lot of information.
Marcelo is just a wizard when it comes to, if I may say, when it comes to video game repairs, and every retro gamer needs to have or know somebody who can take care of this stuff if you can't do it yourself.
I got a guy.
Because these things inevitably will have issues, and you need to have something reliable, whether it's your own skill set or somebody that you can rely on to do it. And just the insight into Marcelo's business and how he's been able to grow and what he does, and sort of the deeper dive of what it means to be in his profession, at least, even if it's a hobby. I don't know if it's his main profession, but I have a lot of fun with interviewing, it was just a nice back and forth. Marcelo was a fantastic interviewee. Like, he was just so gracious when it came to answering the questions and being a part of it, wanting to be there. And so I had a lot of fun with that podcast. I thought it came across very professional, and I'd love to do more of those if we can, in the future.
Hey, we'll have to dig into the nooks and crannies and just find some random person that worked on some random game.
Yeah.
And just find out about it.
I had a lot of fun as much as there's, a Jaguar community that isn't too fond of, some of the things he does. Jeff in Wave 1, like, that was one of my favorite episodes.
Oh, yeah.
He was
well, because that was the first time we did an interview too.
And y'all can hate, but I thought Jeff did a great job in that interview. I know
it was a good interview.
We're not talking about 2022 here, but I don't care, man. Like that dude.
That was, I think when we did that was my episode of the year that year.
That year.
Yeah.
Yeah, but Marcelo is just an awesome dude. It's always good to know.
He's real solid.
But like good people who are doing the stuff that we love, it's easy to do business with a guy like that. I want that guy to succeed. I want him to do well because he's a good person.
Yeah. He's doing a lot.
I know.
Repairs and stuff. Yeah.
I know. He's at it. Did you send our stuff out?
Yeah.
Yeah. Nice. So yeah. So those are a nice little dichotomy of episodes.
We all have a different one.
Yeah. Yeah. It was pretty good. I mean, that just
means they're all so good.
Yeah, they're all fantastic. So that must have been high on your list too, then.
What?
The interview with Marcelo.
Yeah, I mean, well, yeah, of course, but I mean, I wasn't like I already knew what my favorite one was going to be, and the one I liked the most, because I'm biased to myself. When I win,
for sure. This is kind of a broad one, Trenton, and I apologize I didn't alert you to some of these questions before. In fact, I was just thinking about this. I haven't had a ton of time to prepare, but I was thinking about this today. Favorite game that you played this year?
Oh, really? Because I was going to say the opposite of that.
Oh,
but let's do a favorite.
What were you going to say
on the podcast? Favorite game on the podcast?
No. Because we didn't really do a whole lot of games on the podcast. I wasn't even going to go there. We didn't do a ton of games. I mean, we can. You can talk about your favorite game that we reviewed. But then,
I don't know.
But then your favorite, your favorite, your favorite game that you played retro gaming wise of the year, yeah.
Of the year, wow. Well, I probably like the favorite one we did this year, since we didn't do that many, would probably be Cruising USA. Mm-hmm. I think that's probably. I mean, what we did Cruising USA, X Mutants, X-Men. We really didn't do because we
didn't do a whole ton of them.
We didn't get to do as many episodes.
Those were the only 3 games that we really reviewed, because we had the two shows that we reviewed, and then the interview, and some time went by in between when we had a 5-month gap between episodes at one point. So for whatever reason, but trying to sew that up, guys, for you. We're trying to get a little bit more back to it. I know that for myself, and this is not to make an excuse, but I had a huge thing occur in my business that I had to attend to, and I was full out for a good quarter. I couldn't do anything, and so that kind of limited our ability to do anything on the podcast. But that is behind me. And so 2023 looks a lot more clear and able for us to continue to push forward. And I'm looking forward to getting back to the regular gaming reviews. Yeah, I'd have to say. I'd have to say.
You want to know what? You know what? All right, favorite game, the retro game that I played of the year, literally down to the last minute, was Bomberman for the Saturn.
Oh my gosh!
At 11:59 p.m. on New Year's Eve.
So we're gonna talk about that.
That was literally my favorite retro game to play. If you think about retro game, I mean, honestly I didn't play too many older games this year. Besides when if I came here and we played something for a little bit.
I know.
And the only other stuff because I don't have a setup. I didn't really have a setup to really play.
You do now.
I had a TV.
You do now.
Yeah, I had a TV in my 50-inch TV, but I didn't have everything set up with it. It's like above my dresser, know. So it's like I didn't have anything hooked up. If I wanted, I gotta connect it, get the OSSC, hook that up, and then plug everything in. So I didn't really get to play too much myself. So I mean, I would probably say The World Is Not Enough because I just started playing that a little bit. But I think Bomberman was great.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, it's tough because I'm going back into a lot of games that I've played in the past.
Doom.
Yeah. Yeah. Doom.
Every year, it's my favorite game.
Yeah, Doom. I'm going back into a lot of games that I've played in the past, and so it's harder for me to to do that. But I like the Bomberman pick. I mean that's
literally we played it for an hour, but it was probably like the most fun to have playing a game.
But when you think about the highlight of the year in terms of that,
you beat everybody? Is that why it's your favorite
well,
game?
that too. But I mean, who has ever played 7-player Bomberman on the Saturn?
I was hoping we were going to wait on this conversation.
Well, I mean, what do you want?
Well, we'll jump back into it because we'll talk about the end of the year and the holidays and stuff like that.
And then we can all agree the worst game was X-Men. Yeah.
X-Men was the worst game. For me, the most exhilarating moment of the year of me playing video games was Dungeon Explorer.
Oh, I was gonna say that's probably your favorite
on the Sega CD. Now, first of all, the Sega CD, getting to play Lords of Thunder, which I literally wanted to explode playing that game because it's just the color, the sound, everything about that game. It's easy to get into,
and you never.
It's just a phenomenal looking game.
Actually, because
it's not hard at all.
I think that was when I got the TurboGrafx Mini. That was a game I played on it. And I was telling you, I played through it. You probably never even played it on it because I don't even think you ever opened your Mini, right?
No, but I have it on the Wii.
Oh, you do?
Yeah, I have the turbo version.
Probably
on the
still
Wii.
doesn't look as crisp, right? Playing through the Wii.
Probably not.
Yeah.
Probably not. I mean, it looked good because I had it through the FrameMeister and stuff. Now I have it on the Wega. But
yeah,
Dungeon Explorer 2-player. Now, so we'll get into this, but I played with my brother-in-law, and just the back and forth between us calling out to each other what we were going to do, the food management, the health management, and just the purity of the gameplay, and having to figure out where to go without any map or anything, and it's just floor after floor, but then somehow your brain trains you, this one goes here, that one goes there, this is how we get around, just the trial and error of it, and then finally getting to the boss and defeating the boss and then saving our progress and just being like
yes!
like just jumping up for joy just that we did this and we did it together. It was a pure co-op experience like we had when we were kids. It was like that, man, you can't describe the feeling when
two guys come together.
When they clap. Was it clap up?
Whoa!
Click up. What was the Drake term?
Trying to clap cheeks. Clicking up.
Yeah, Dungeon Explorer. I mean, we say it all the time. Don't sleep on the Sega CD, but man, it's Dungeon Explorer on the Sega CD is not Dungeon Explorer on the TurboGrafx. I'll just put it right out there. And maybe I got blue colored glasses, but man,
but it is the same. It's the same game though. Well, when I say is it a completely different game?
No, not completely.
Well, that's what I'm saying. It's the same game, but it's not the same game.
But there's just something about the gameplay in the Sega CD version that's more arcadey.
Okay.
Then
is the turbo? Well, who would it was the turbo one 4-player?
Yeah, 5-player.
Oh, 5-player.
Yeah.
Yeah. I remember when you and I were playing. We gotta level you up. You gotta join in, and it was like leave, go back to the castle, go back.
We're not there yet. We need to get you. We need to get you up there. But that was, yeah, that was one thing we tried at the end of the year because we got to spend a lot of time together because of the holidays, and so we had tried to connect with Dungeon Explorer because my brother-in-law was here, and so we played together. But Trenton was starting at such a low level that it wasn't
just in life.
No, it wasn't even, and so
they're like on level 21. I'm on level 2.
Yeah, and you picked a good character because you can level up pretty quickly with that guy, and he's pretty strong. But it was still a lot of
very tedious
health management. We got to get him back there. We got to save it because if you die, it's like So we're working on that. I got to work on your character so we can build you up. But once we're
there, man.
Once the mega powers collide,
it's
gonna be on. And just a wonderful co-op game. So that's going to be kind of the theme of the end of the year here as we talk about the holidays and some of the fun we had towards the end of the year.
That's another one that probably no one has ever played multiplayer.
And it's the thing is, like, a lot of the games that I'm talking about are kind of landlocked. They're not games that are popular enough that you'd be able to play them on other things or got secondary releases. You know, Sal, what about you? What's your favorite game of the year that you played? It's probably one that you've mentioned pretty recently, but what's your favorite game that you played, and
can I take a guess on what it is?
What?
And why?
I would say if it would, based on what I know, it would be Hello Neighbor.
Nope.
But okay,
I think it's Piggy.
Nope.
oh Piggy.
Minecraft?
Nope. It's not It's not modern.
Oh,
It's older.
Your favorite game that you played is an older game.
House of the Dead 1.
Oh, my man.
oh, wait, on the Saturn?
On the Saturn.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Well, that has a re-release on the Switch. So if you guys want to play House of the Dead 1,
Ooh, I want to do it now.
you want to play on the Switch? All right, give me your wallet and I'll pay for it.
Oh no, I was.
Got him.
No, but I was
Got
saving,
him.
no, I was saving for Hello Neighbor 2 though.
What we'll do is we'll just take that $20 bill you have and just shove it right in the Switch,
Yeah,
and that'll Nintendo will download the money.
they should make. Yeah, I'm surprised they don't have one of those.
Oh, like a dispenser, like a Coke dispenser.
Like you put the $20 in, it scans it, and it shreds it at the same time. So it's stored, and then but it's also gone, so you can't use it again.
It just virtually turns the paper money.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a thought.
But then I want to.
So why?
I still want to save it for Hello Neighbor 2.
I'm just kidding. You're not going to have to buy House of the Dead. Why is it the House of the Dead 1 is your favorite game of the year? What is it about the game itself that you like?
I just like how you can change the blood from green, blue, red, purple.
I like changing the
and-
blood.
I don't know. It's
But
pretty.
you like
it's-
playing it. You like shooting things.
We cleared it.
I like shooting.
We finally cleared it.
Yes. I like the ending. How Sophie turns into a zombie.
She does. The main boo in the game turns into a zombie.
My boo
You
time.
have to stop curing, or something terrible will happen. Sophie.
It is really campy, right?
That's
It
what
is
makes
really
it so
silly.
good.
Yeah, I know. But as much as the kind of the implementation of that game was not great, the animation is kind of.
And that's what makes it. That's what makes it House of the Dead.
But the gameplay is there,
Yeah.
you know, and it plays well. I think that's a Tantalus interactive game.
Sure. Tantalus.
I don't know why I know that, but
You know why you know that.
I think that's a solid game pick, Sal.
Yeah.
And it's a retro game, so
Can't go wrong.
Yeah.
But you know what though? Your skill set really elevated this year because of Piggy. If there's a game I could talk about that kind of pushed you into dual stick gaming,
Yeah.
I think Piggy was the one that did it for you. You really kind of like got the idea of controlling a camera
Why? 'Cause
and moving your character.
Well,
At the same damn
because
time.
I had to grab the gun and Clowny almost killed
and
me.
you were like,
and
I'm going to do this.
And I shimmied to the side, and then I grabbed the gun, and he almost killed me.
Yeah.
And so I had to run this way, shoot him, and then I had to grab the key.
Yeah, and you've won now playing that game. So
But I hate Swarm. That's where they take all of the Piggy characters from different levels and put them into one level to make it so it's like all of, because it can put up to like 10 characters in the game.
They
so
didn't license out ICP for that one.
Swarm.
No. 3 little piggies
To make a piggy pie. Yeah. They should. I'm sure you can play music while you're gaming.
Not the same.
It's like Doom on Jaguar. You just
Anyway,
take your
pull out
phone,
the stereo cord.
take your phone, put it right on the bottom of the TV, and then play your favorite Doom track or the track of the level.
It's even better.
It's. I mean, I don't notice a difference. Solid, guys. Very solid. What is your?
We didn't even talk about our pickups yet. We're like wasting time.
Okay, so I'm gonna talk.
Well, you're wasting time by doing that. We're getting there.
What is your I was just gonna get into this. We have some pickups we're gonna talk about.
Yeah.
But what is your favorite gaming pickup of the year? And if it's in the pickups that you've brought, that's wonderful because you can kill two birds with one stone. But what is your favorite gaming pickup of the year? I will start, and I will say that my favorite gaming pickup of the year. Can you guess?
Gaming pickup of the year.
Gaming related pickup of the year.
Pickup.
Oh, mustachio, I love mustachio.
Your favorite one? Oh, geez. Would it be the Raiden Triad?
Oh man, that's the thing.
I'm not saying your favorite game, but just because of what it is.
So that's one of them, right? So
Well, I mean,
so here's the
okay.
thing. Here's the thing. It was like a
smorgasbord.
It was like a plethora.
Yeah,
of,
you got a smorgasbord this year.
I mean, between Fatal Fury Special.
yeah, I wouldn't.
Dungeon.
I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't
No.
think that would be.
What
on
I'm
top.
talking about is like special things, right? Like Fatal Fury Special, Lords of Thunder,
I would feel like the
Dungeon
Raiden,
Explorer.
I feel like Raiden Triad because
Raiden Trad is my first or second favorite shooter of all time.
because you did the trading.
And to be
for
able
it.
to do that trade and get that game was a very, very special thing. That would have been my favorite gaming related pickup.
if not for this one,
If not for the PVM.
oh, the PVM. That's right. That's true. That's true. It's true. Very
You know,
true.
And again, I iterated on the last podcast that if you have a very nice or decent, even mid-tier CRT that can do, if it's a larger one that can even do S-Video, you probably don't need a PVM.
No,
But because of what it means to, like, what PVMs mean to kind of this industry and how, how kind of sought after they are, right? And the clarity of the image that comes from them, it's kind of almost not something like you've never seen before. I wasn't seeking it out, but to be able to get a 19-inch Sony PVM for $50, I don't know if that'll ever happen again,
No.
And it caused me to go out and actually find a TV stand, a corner TV stand, which I totally revamped. I sanded. You helped me sand it with your mouse sander, and painted it up. We'll put a picture in here of the new setup that we've got. One of the 8 gaming setups we have in this room.
The gaming setup has a gaming setup.
Yeah, but I finally was able to get a nice platform for that PVM and to be able to do
real nice.
all of those games on it. Like I said, I was playing a stall on that thing, and it's just a thing of beauty.
I love it so much.
So yeah, I would have to say very good call on the Raiden Trad because it is a very special game to me.
I forgot about. I wasn't thinking of that. I was just thinking of the games. That's why.
But yeah, the PVM.
I understand.
PVM has to be the top of the line.
I'm on top.
Sal, what is your favorite gaming pickup of the year? And if you have it in front of you, you can pick it up
Or below you.
Or show it to him.
Yeah. Think about your year of gaming. You have really
Just don't think too hard.
You have really started to develop a retro gaming collection, and so much so that Daddy needs to help get a shelf for you to start putting your stuff on.
Oh boy,
We got a bag of tricks down here.
Here we go.
So favorite gaming pickup of the year.
So, you guys remember on the last podcast what I asked
Yes.
for Christmas is Mutant League football? I got it from Santa Claus.
Whoa!
Mutant League football.
How awesome is that?
It's amazing.
Now why is it that is your favorite gaming pickup? What is it because it's kind
It's
of
football, and I like football. And
and it's not a common thing to see
yes.
out?
And where did you even find out about
He
Mutant
saw
League
it.
football?
He saw it in the shelf. Remember the gaming case when we were at the show?
When the guy swore at you. Him?
But wait, you just saw the cover, so you didn't really know.
Yeah, I saw the cover. I didn't know much
He
about
didn't,
it, but
he didn't
I
know
saw
that
it.
it was based off the Madden engine, which is phenomenal and easy to get into and play. But he loves the idea. I mean, he's been playing House of the Dead, and he loves the idea of
Makes
he loves
sense.
he
Makes
loves
sense.
he loves football and he loves zombies, and so
You didn't
Right.
think like brutal sports football would have been better,
no,
or pigskin football.
nope, not at all. Didn't even cross my mind. And again, I think this is a special game where they've not really done that before. Like again, I know they just made Mutant League Football recently for the new systems, but I think that's a newer style game.
It's like Football Mutant League or something like that.
Yeah.
They just like rearrange the words.
There was one of the players
Football Mutant
Pussycat.
League or something like
There
that.
was one of the players
No.
Pussyfoot.
No.
I hope so.
Who is it?
No.
Featherfoot.
Yeah. The Deaf Blinders is one of the teams as it
What's
says.
his name?
There's the Slicer, there's Bones Jackson.
It's like Bo Jackson.
Like Bo Jackson, but Bones Jackson.
Oh yeah, there's a bunch of them named like that, right?
Yep. Spew Puke.
No, with the person, he had like that in his name. I don't remember.
I don't remember what his name was. We'll have to plug it in.
We'll figure it
and
out
find
later
out.
on the next episode.
And it's a great box art. It's a unique game, and
The glory goes to the gory.
I think this is a solid game to.
I don't even think I've ever. I don't think I've ever.
We need to plug it in. You need to check it out.
Maybe I played. I think I maybe rented it way back.
I rented it when I was a kid.
I think I did too.
I don't think my mom would have let me buy it, but I was able to rent it at least.
You weren't able to buy it?
Yeah.
Why?
I'm saying I don't know if my mom would have let me buy the game, but maybe I was able to at least rent it.
Cool.
What else do you want me to show?
We're gonna show the rest of our pickups, but I want Uncle Trenton to fire off his favorite gaming pickup of the year. Unless, you know what, we can start with you with your pickups, your recent pickups, and if one of your favorite pickups
It is, yeah.
is in that, then you can do it at the end, and then we'll just kind of run it back.
Why didn't you tell me that? Because I could have just done that.
What? Uncle Trenton is the last person to talk about his favorite games of the year, favorite gaming related pickup of the year.
Oh.
So we'll do that one last.
Yeah, do that one last of your recent pickups.
Okay.
Is what I mean.
So we'll kind of cap the show off with some pickups.
Yeah, we'll cap the show off with some pickups. Why not? And then we'll talk. We'll maybe just tie it up at the end here.
Yeah. We'll kind of zoom through these. Okay. So a couple years ago, I got the Atari Lynx. I was gifted an Atari Lynx. Mm-hmm. So I haven't got too many games for it. At Syracuse, that was like the only stuff I got was 2 games.
Can I make a
for it.
comment?
Yeah.
Just like the Jaguar, which I initially was very harsh on.
Get out of here.
There's better. It's a better system than people think it is because they don't really know much. Most people don't know much about the Lynx. There are.
Oh, the Lynx.
Yes.
Oh, yes.
It's a better system
Oh.
than people give it credit for, I think.
Yeah. There's like, it seems like most of the games are good. You know, and
Like
you
Ninja
just wouldn't think
Gaiden.
so. Yeah. No, I'm just in general like all of the I don't know 13 games I have like all of them are solid.
played them,
you
yeah.
know. Yeah. This one's a little harder to come across. Is Batman Returns?
Oh, I didn't know about this one.
For the Atari Lynx. Yeah.
Is this a beat 'em up?
It's just a side scroller. It's hard. I don't know if it's the controls. A lot of people just say just the way they program the game. It's just it's brutal. There's like no forgiveness in it, even on like the first level.
What does it look like?
It's like the graphic wise. It's like it's really good, very detailed.
Oh, it's actually the characters are pretty big.
Yeah. Like graphic wise, it looks amazing. You know, for the Lynx.
Yeah.
But just
handheld.
the gameplay is kind of brutal. I got a cheat. I think it was like $20 or something like that.
Okay.
But it's like harder. If this one's like harder to come across, like complete with everything. You know. But someone had it up for a good price, so I grabbed. This was like a couple months ago, but I just never mentioned it. But I've gotten past the first level once.
Oh wow.
It's like you have to just.
Is
like,
there any cheats where you
you
can
literally? It's like it's unfortunate because like you literally just have to avoid. They like all these characters like throw bombs at you. You just literally have to just try to avoid. Just run all the way to the end. But then like there's like a timer that goes off and like there's like a building you run by and it blows up every time. And like if you're near it, you just die instantly, and then that's it. So I can't figure out how to beat it.
Have you
before
watched
it
the
blows
playthrough?
up? No, I haven't. But I haven't played it in so long. So, but that's I guess that's my first pick. What do you got over there for you? Yeah, I'll just do this one. This one I actually had
just run through them.
I picked up the case and the manual for Dynamite Duke.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a game.
No, I mean it's
supposed to be pretty solid.
It is.
I haven't even tried it yet, but I got the game and.
I think it's the sequel to Gangster Town on the Master System.
Oh, is it?
I think so.
Oh, yeah. So it's like a
one of those. There's a shooter on the Master System. It's got the same.
It's like a
mechanic.
If you've like Cabal, I guess you would say it.
Yep.
It kind of plays like Cabal if you're familiar.
You
with
see
that.
like the wireframe of your character, and there's
It's like an arcade shooter.
almost like Operation Wolf in a way.
Yeah. It's supposed to be pretty solid. I've had this cart for forever, and I picked up the case on eBay.
Case and manual look really good.
About like a month ago for like $10 or something
The
like
cover
that.
art is priceless though, because that's one of those.
Yeah,
like,
just that like random dude.
what's that Super Nintendo game with the guy with like the banjo on the front, and it's like a shooter?
Phalanx or whatever.
Yeah, or something.
Phalanx. PHA.
Phalanx.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And yeah, it's just like that has nothing to do with
Well, I mean,
the game.
this does. Though.
No, but he's like the facial expression that he's giving is like somebody just pooped in his cereal.
Yeah. So Dynamite Duque. Yeah.
Nice.
Solid pickup.
Listen, any Genesis game that you can get in the grid pattern, that early Genesis look,
yeah,
is great. But it's an actual like picture.
Yeah.
You know, like you don't see a whole lot of that.
Then recently picked up the case and the manual for Virtua Racing.
Virtua Racing.
That was another cheap case and manual too.
Yeah,
that's what a lot of.
It's actually a pretty good game. I mean, for all intents and purposes.
I'll check like once a day. I'll just type in on eBay. I'll go Sega Genesis manual only, and then I just look up the new listings.
Yep.
And then I just see like what cases or manuals are just
Yeah.
up. I never really get much, but this was like $12. So to complete my copy, I've got like,
and it's a game that's gone up a little bit.
I've got like 20 like loose games left that I want to get like cases for.
Tell me about it.
So I'm always on the
always trying to get rid of that.
Yeah, I'm always on the lookout for something.
The day we don't have any more loose games is the day that
might be the end of it.
Yeah.
It's like, what is left? And actually, I guess these three I kind of picked up at once. So I've had so much video game accessories, games that I just couldn't get rid of for the longest time. So I actually went to a local store called Game Exchange, and I just brought like everything I had that they would take, because they actually had the disc for this game, which is Wii Sports Club on the Wii U. I've had the case and the manual for a few months. I got it at Goodwill. They gave it to me for $2 because it didn't have the game, and they had the disc there, but the disc was like $60, and I just didn't really want to spend $60 on a disc. So I traded in a bunch of stuff. I got like $100 in credit.
It was just like loose garbage.
Yeah, just
when I say garbage, I mean nothing that's not necessarily bad, but
it kind
just
of was.
odds and ends.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I had like,
well, to get $100 worth of credit, though,
I had
something.
I had like Hydro Thunder for 64.
Yeah,
that I was never gonna play,
which is worth a lot, but yet it's not the best version.
It's bad because I think you got me the Dreamcast version, so I had that, like the Guitar Hero guitars for like $360. They got like $24 each for those, so I had two of those. Because they sell them for like $50-$60. So I grabbed that. I got Double Dribble in the box, which is a little beat up, but it was only $5. And then I went back there.
I mean, Double Dribble was the premier basketball game for like I don't know how many years until NBA Jam and NBA Live came out.
Oh yeah, I can do it for $5. Why not? Even though it's a little beat up, but
any Nintendo game for $5 in the box.
Yeah, it's not a game I was looking for, but I was like, $5, I'm gonna take it. And then I think I went back like a week later and traded in just a couple more things to be able to get this. It was Landstalker for the Sega Genesis, and it is complete.
Awesome first party game. I remember watching Pat Musin play this on his little 13-inch TV.
Pat Musin had it, huh?
Mm-hmm. Pat had a lot. He had Light Crusader.
That's like a deep.
He had Landstalker.
That's like a deep cut, like Landstalker for someone to have.
He got his Sega around the time you did, and he got some really choice games. Super Street Fighter 2. Remember I talked about rubbing the screen when Cammy was on there? Yeah. He got Light Crusader. He had that. I mean, he had Samurai Showdown.
Wow.
So he had a lot of really good games on his Genesis.
That's surprising that he would have those kind of games.
Yeah, I mean, well, Pat and I, for a while, we were playing RPGs together, like, every time I went over.
Huh. That's funny.
Yeah.
I just can't picture him, like, playing, like, Landstalker.
Musin was in it, man. He was in it to win it, man. He had a good selection and a good video game acumen, so to speak.
Okay.
Yeah, man. So those are some real solid pickups.
And actually, all those were towards the end of the year, like in the past.
Yeah.
Except for Batman Returns was earlier, but those were like in the past like month or two.
Yeah.
And I haven't got much else besides that, like odds and ends, just like cases and stuff. I haven't got like too many.
Right.
Besides the game shows, I haven't really like splurged on anything,
I'll run through this.
Now you're up.
I'll run through this pretty quickly.
Now you're up, fat boy.
Yeah, so a nice gift from Trenton, and I'll say, guys, 2022, retro gaming is alive and well. I mean, I don't care if you're talking about.
He's alive.
I don't care if you're talking about modern games made with a retro style or games actually programmed for a lot of those old systems, but it just seems like there's not a month that goes by where there's a bunch of new stuff that comes out, or new voice patches for old games where they only came out in Japan and now they're available, or there's new games based on old games that are coming out for these old systems. It's just like retro gaming is, as much as people have been worried or doubted that maybe this is going to slow down, it really hasn't. And maybe even the pandemic has caused people to delve a little bit further into these hobbies where they have a technical knowledge of some of these systems or the games. And, we're seeing a lot of this stuff. So you were kind enough to get me this game for, Dreamcast is one of my favorites. And I love beat 'em ups. And this game we got to play over the holidays, which was awesome. Talk about multiplayer gaming. And that's Demolish Fist.
Demolish Fist!
For the Sega Genesis. I don't know if this is a newer game or not, but it is great. It is a 2-player co-op beat-em-up game. Doesn't have a lot of the frills of what you would expect from a polished first-party release from back then, but it's got it where it counts. It's got that oomph, that sound when you're hitting. It's got good control, and it just plays very well. It looks very Dreamcasty.
It does.
And I had a great time with it until it crashed. But that can happen with the programming of these games. You don't have a million play testers. Things can happen.
It's just the way you gotta get the game going. It comes with like this little note card where you gotta change all these settings just to get it booted. But yeah, I don't remember. It's a repro game.
It says Sammy, so this must have been a game that was getting created for the Dreamcast back then, but maybe wasn't finished or wasn't complete. The bugs weren't completed out of it. But whoever was able to do this, it's a great game, and I don't think you paid too much for it. But
it was so I found out about it through what's his name, Radical Reggie.
Okay,
he had mentioned that specific game, and I was like, oh wow, that looks like a pretty solid game. And
I was having a ball playing it with you. It was a lot of fun. It's got unlimited continues, which is great.
Yeah,
so you can roll through it.
I can't remember the company that
Thomas Wave.
Is that the company? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. They have like a whole site of all. I don't know if it was more. I think it was pretty much all Dreamcast games, because I think when I got it in the mail, the name said like Nights into Dreamcast or something like that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but it's a great game, and it works on your Model 0 or Model 1 Dreamcast just fine. You just have to plug in. I mean, there are a couple of menus you got to go through to get it loaded up, but it worked just fine. It plays with the VGA box, so I've got my VGA to HDMI Gecko device, and it looks great. I mean, you saw it on the screen. It looked great, right?
Oh yeah.
So check out Demolish Fist. If you guys are looking for a new game, you like beat 'em ups, check out Demolish Fist. This is one here that is a newer game, but it kind of relates to something that's Dreamcast related. I love old first person shooters, simple single player experiences, and one of the games that was very innovative off of the Quake engine. You guys know we've talked about Quake on this show, and some of the conversions there. But one of the games that came from that was Half-Life, and Half-Life was supposed to come out on the Dreamcast. Everybody knows the famous, it was basically done and it wasn't released. It got shelved right at the end, and we got a PlayStation 2 version of it. And this is the follow-up on PlayStation 3. This is Half-Life 2, and it comes with a game called Portal, which is, well-renowned, a puzzle game that came out later on. But Half-Life 2 for the PlayStation 3, I haven't played Half-Life 1 yet, which is one that I would like to fix. I'd like to get that. But
I haven't played any of them.
My brother Tony said I don't need to play Half-Life 1 to play Half-Life 2. He said, go ahead and play Half-Life 2. You'll have just as much fun as if you know what happens in Half-Life 1. So I'm excited to delve into that a little bit. Another genre where I'm not particularly great at it, but I like if you put me in a multiplayer map in Call of Duty, I'm going to get demolished.
Yeah, most people will if they don't play it.
But a single player experience like a Doom or a Quake or something like this, I'm down for. And this comes with the two expansions there. I owned this game before, but now I have the case and the manual, which 64, you always want to see if you can do that. And that is a game we just talked about, and that's The World Is Not Enough. So we are clicking and clacking with first-person Bond goodness here. And the one
There's
thing,
007.
the one thing, 007. One thing I love about this is it has the Blockbuster Video sale sticker on the back.
Which, it does.
Yeah, which everybody always loves.
Nice.
Which I don't even know if I want to remove. I almost want to just keep it there.
So if it's a paper sticker,
It is.
They're almost impossible to get it.
I'm just gonna keep it.
If it had like the stickers that have the laminate on it,
It's not in a place that is actually obtrusive. It's not like taking up part of like the explanation of what you're
I
playing.
mean, you
or
could
anything
try
like
with
that.
the blow dryer
pictures.
and heat it up a little bit and try to take it off. And if it starts to rip, then just leave it.
Yeah, so that's one I'm excited to get to delve into. Just from the early parts of me playing it, it feels. This is blasphemy. Just like your Super Street Fighter 2 comment. It feels a little bit better than 007 to me.
But we'll delve into that at a future date.
We'll talk about it. Well, I haven't gone back to 007 in a while, so we'll play both and do a little face-off.
Just breeze through those ones real quick. Just
You breeze through these?
Yeah, just because you got them.
Okay.
You don't have to. You don't just say you got them.
So a gift from the manly manager, Ryan Brown.
Mr. Brown.
Breath of Fire for the Super Nintendo, which is one that I've wanted. Again, Super Nintendo games, it's hard for me to find one that I'm really looking forward to, but Breath of Fire is one of them. I played Breath of Fire 4 on the PlayStation 1 when I was a kid.
Oh.
Didn't know what I was doing. I really wasn't into RPGs. I just thought it looked really cool and got nowhere in it, but loved the 2D 3/4 perspective of the graphics. And this is kind of similar. This is the place it all started in a highly regarded game. I need to find a manual for it,
What
but
game is this?
Breath of Fire. It's
Yeah,
an RPG.
I know nothing. I just know of it. I don't know anything
It's
about
got really good box art.
Square. Yeah, it does. Yeah,
know?
Squaresoft. So
Yeah.
it's got to be solid.
And then a couple of movies. So a couple of video game related things. One, not so much. This is just more of an 80s campy horror game that my uncle showed me when I was a kid. A great game to play if you're into retro games and you want to get the flair of what a kid in 1988 or 1987 would want to be watching after finishing The Legend of Zelda. Maybe not a kid, maybe a teenager. But this campy just romp, which is so awesome. It's
Deep
so
Star-
bad, it's good. And
Deep Star 6.
and it's Deep Star 6.
It already looks horrible.
Is this
It already looks horrible.
Is this Orion? It seems like an Orion type game or a movie. It's not Studio Canal, but yeah, check it out. It's about a evil crustacean underwater attacking a base underground.
Not all aliens are in outer space.
No, this is fun.
It kind of looks like Fallout.
Mid
With
80s
your,
game.
with like when you're under
Yeah.
is it Fallout 3? Yeah, when you're in like that
With the Mirelurks?
submarine
With the
Yeah.
Mark
with like the crab creatures.
grab people.
And then the inspiration sort of for Duke Nukem, in a way, is this movie here. So yeah, so Duke Nukem, sort of the inspiration I think that comes from that, and the first line of Duke Nukem 3D comes from this character in this movie, and that is starring Roddy Piper, and that is John Carpenter's They Live. Which I have known nothing about this movie.
Is it hidden?
It's got
I don't-
aliens.
it's a
Other than
hidden
the fact
gem.
that it's got Roddy Piper, and he's got the glasses that look like Duke Nukem on the back here,
Yeah, that's all you need to know.
and a gun. And I'm excited to check this movie out.
It's good, man.
Yeah.
Not just like
Has aliens.
ironic good. It's actually like a really good movie.
What is he going after in the movie?
So it's like there's people under mind control, and they hit his glasses, so they just look like regular people. But when he puts the glasses on, he can see they're like alien, like skeleton, like aliens.
Oh.
And they're like trying to like control everyone. Yeah,
So it's basically The Thing, but remade for aliens and glasses.
so totally different. Yes.
Well, that's the plot of The Thing, is that there's infected people that you don't know which ones are the infected
Yeah.
ones.
Oh, infected.
Yeah, it's great.
Yeah,
So it's a movie about infected people. That makes sense.
yeah.
It does actually.
Sal likes movies and games about infected people.
Yeah, when they turn into zombies.
That's right.
Zombies.
Zombies are as popular in 2022 as they are in 1996 and 1997. Go figure. So Sal, share with us, the two big pickups that you'd like to retro gaming and inspired pickups that you've got there.
So
And watch your head. Go figure, the first one.
We have House of the Dead, the Japanese version, right? Mm-hmm. So I wanted to get the American version.
So we wouldn't have to worry about the fiddle-faddle of getting it set up and all the nonsense that comes with playing a Japanese game on an American system.
Correct.
And you know how I got this from Santa Claus? I got this from Santa Claus.
Santa knows what you want, buddy.
House of the Dead 2.
Yep.
The sequel.
If you guys follow us on Instagram, you already know that these were the two games that he was really looking forward to. So we're glad Santa was able to come in clutch because they don't make these anymore. So he was able to track them down, which is really, really cool.
Had to boot up his CD burner.
Yeah, just grab the main part, Sal. So go ahead.
This is gonna almost kind of finish Mommy's 64 collection.
Almost. Yeah.
But Mommy just needs Fire Red.
Fire Red, yeah.
Mommy needs Fire Red. But I got the Pikachu edition 64.
Put it up so they can see it. Yeah.
In all its glory.
Look at that. Yep, another compliments of our good buddy, the manly manager, Ryan Brown, helping us.
With the
You can press
expansion
this
pack.
and his cheeks light up. You gotta plug it in to see it.
Yeah, that's the next thing we're gonna have to do. You're big on the Sega stuff, but the 64 would be something. Now that you know how to work an analog stick, get you on the 64 games.
Got something to hold you.
Yep.
Good day. Now I kind of want Body Harvest to play this with.
Body Harvest is a game we tried at the end of the year, and pretty good. It's less arcadey than I thought it was going to be. Thank you, Sal. Thanks for sharing that. Are you popping off the cast?
You're welcome.
All right. You have a great night, sir.
We only got a few minutes left
That's
anyway.
it. We're wrapping this puppy up.
Or do you want me to stay? I can stay.
You can stay if
This
you want.
Breath of Fire feels so heavy. Is there 4 batteries in the game or something? It just feels heavy for us.
It might be the extra battery. I don't know. There's no Super FX chip or anything like that in there, so I don't know.
Doesn't it just feel... I don't know. Did you notice that? It just feels really heavy.
Yeah.
And there's no manual in here.
No, there's no manual. There's extra. I don't know if there's anything extra in there. I have to open it up. But the plastic, there's the plastic shell that's covering and protecting it. But
Yeah, that's not it.
all right,
Just feels heavy.
all right. So as we sort of wrap up this podcast, guys, and thanks for joining us. If you're new to the podcast, please please subscribe. What? We're not done. We're not finishing.
Oh, well, that's what you usually do at the last second.
No. I'm just saying if you're new here, subscribe and hit the bell so you can get notifications of when these podcasts release.
Do people still ring the bell? Do they do that? They still ring the bell?
Well, you want to get notifications when
Kids still do that?
We're not posting every day, so it's good to know when a new podcast drops. That way, it's gonna smack you in the virtual face when you see it. But we also are on all the podcasting services. So if you can't catch the full fat version on YouTube, you can get us on
you should.
on the podcast services. We love it when you guys come to YouTube, but
We love it when you call.
but either way that you guys are listening and sharing with a friend is always something that we want you to do because we think there's a lot of people that are interested in this stuff.
Trying to click up.
And that's it. This whole podcast is about clicking up and wallowing in the mud a little bit.
Yeah, multi-tapping, as they say.
So as we head to the end of this podcast here, I do want to talk a little bit about the end of the year and just some of the experiences we were able to have. We talk about gaming is kind of a social thing, and really when I say social, I don't mean you're playing with somebody in Indiana and somebody else in Washington. I mean getting into a room and actually playing video games with one another, and that was the theme of our
sitting down
of our Christmas break and New Year's was actually.
You remember that other time when Nomad Steve and Ryan were here?
Yeah,
I think you had he brought his TV and we were playing Shinobi on the floor over there.
on a 13-inch
we were laying on the floor playing Shinobi.
Yeah, just
like it was
even
92.
just that, even just sitting together on the floor playing a video game on a composite
with the TV
CRT,
on the floor too.
With the TV on the floor, really kicking it old school.
We really were,
so to speak. But just having the experiences like Dungeon Explorer, playing Mario Kart 64 together. Right, and just having battles back and forth with one another in that. And then, the big one of the year for me was being able to set up a 7-player Bomberman contest.
Never been done.
And just bringing together older people like ourselves, relatively, young people in gaming, this little guy, my brother-in-law who's much younger than me, his girlfriend, his best friend, and having everybody have a complete blast.
I'm like, what's a Bomberman?
Yeah, they didn't even know what Bomberman is. And just, if you could record just the commentary of just us yelling back and forth to one another, like, damn it, I killed myself. You know, like, why does Trenton keep winning? I think you lost one round.
And that was because I accidentally killed myself.
Because you accidentally killed yourself, which happens.
I went 5-0. I think it was first to 5.
First to 5, and then we did a first to 3, and you won. And you won that one too. But you know, gaming is about coming together and sharing these experiences, and that's the thing that I really enjoy delving into, is having these shared experiences with each other. And that's kind of what I take with me when it comes to retro gaming. All this stuff is great, and it's fun to play single player stuff, but it's even better, I think, when you can come together and just make it fun. And there's a lot of ways to have those experiences on some of these old consoles. I know that Saturn Bomberman might not be the one that you want to go for, but I'm sure Super Nintendo has, you know, options to play 4-player on some of those Bomberman games.
Yeah, I think it's only Super Bomberman they made. But it does have the multi-tap
functionality,
yeah.
So you can play.
You do 4-player, I think.
Did we play NBA Jam 4-player?
During the year, yeah.
Well, we did during
on the
year.
Jaguar.
But that's another one. Like 4-player NBA Jam is, you know, that's an iconic game. That's a top 10 game for me.
And even though they're not, I mean, they're rooted in retro on the Switch, was like Mario Golf and Mario Party.
Oh, we were playing. Yep, we played
a lot of Mario Golf.
Mario Party, but there's Mario Golf and Mario Party on the 64. So those new games are based on a lot of the stuff that came before. So even if it is a Switch or a PlayStation or whatever, having some of those experiences are what make the holidays really fun. And it's like I almost had a really hard time going back to work. I was like, I just want to be here, sitting on my new beanbag chair, drinking a glass of wine,
on my beanbag chair,
yelling at all the people that I love. You know, with the gaming experiences we were having, and it was just, I don't know, it was just a lot of fun. And so if you guys have the opportunity to do that, make it a more regular thing. I want to make it a more regular thing throughout the year, to spend more time, you know, with friends and family and have those experiences. And I think that's what makes, for me, a lot of the retro gaming stuff really special, on top of the single player stuff that you can do.
I love it.
Any final comments from your turn?
Bomberman.
You were a Bomberman pro.
I don't know why, or I don't know.
Your brain thinks in grid patterns.
So I don't think I've ever. I mean, I've played Bomberman before, but never. I don't think we've ever booted it up on the Saturn.
In the land of the blind,
the man with one eye is king. Yeah.
If you want to put it that way.
What are you saying? Nice.
Any final comments on the year or the holidays or
no
2022 at large, or what your hopes are for our podcast?
Next year?
For next year coming up.
The main thing is we just gotta hopefully try and just bust out some more episodes. Mm-hmm. Which I think we should. I think we can. I don't see why not. I would shoot for
what is your goal?
12.
I think that's very possible.
12. Mm-hmm. And then I would like to get over 100 subscribers. We're like, it's like one every like 3 months, but I gotta promote the show more.
You didn't
get the clips.
You didn't talk about your gaming pickup of the year.
I understand that.
Okay.
We're getting there.
I just remember that. I'm like, wait a minute, we didn't talk about your favorite gaming pickup of the year.
Well, that's why I was like, when you were doing it, I was like,
yeah, no. You know, I've been told that you should you know, plug your show in the middle of your show as the show is going on. At least for my business, people have said, like, if you're going to do podcasting for your business, you should remind people throughout the show. I don't do a really good job
that they're watching your show
to subscribe.
Well,
you know, but
I mean, I understand.
I don't really care. I do this because I love it. No, so I don't really care.
I'm not saying but in the show. I'm saying outside of the show.
Right.
Like online, you know, like posting this stuff on my TikTok or
the
Instagram, and
I mean, how many
posting more?
You made a couple TikTok videos that or posts that got over 1,000 views, right?
Well, that was many thousands. That's because of the final pickup.
Many thousands.
The final pickup of the year.
Well, how many?
Actually, I don't know many. Okay. It was probably only like 1,000.
All right, well, whatever. It's fine. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, it may have been a few.
My goal is just to bring this podcast to more people. I feel like there's a lot more people that would want to just have this as a part of their day, and
Well, yeah, it's promoting
remember those good times. And so that's why I'm asking you guys, like, if you know people who like this type of content, please share it with them, because I just want to have a community of people that I can just kind of create a relationship with and get their perspective, because the only time that I am ever able to enjoy this stuff with other people that I don't know is when I go to a retro show. Yeah. You know, or you stop into a video game store and you meet somebody, and like you remember, like, oh, you start talking about old video games and you have a good time with that, but then that moment is sort of fleeting. So, you know, that's what we're trying to create here, and just, again, like I said, just enjoy those experiences of a time when it was simpler and all of these games were just easy to get into and simple, and the experiences we had, and just to have fun with it, right? You know, this is what it's all about. So that's my goal with kind of trying to get this show a little bit progressed a little further in terms of the community.
I thought you left the show earlier.
Yeah, I thought you were leaving.
No.
That's my goal for you to not.
What's
leave.
your goal, Sal?
My goal.
Start playing some more retro games?
You can't say I have a goal and then not know what it is.
Well, I think my goal is maybe to beat House of the Dead 2.
Okay.
It's a solid goal.
Yeah.
Because I've only gotten up to the magician and then I die.
It's a tough game.
I have no more continues and I just die to the magician.
I think you can get more continues if you play and you save it, but I have to check the American version because I haven't played that one in years.
American!
You dirty American!
All right, Trenton, bring us home.
All right, so this is how we end the podcast, not with a purr, but with a growl.
Ooh. That is tempting. That is very tempting.
It probably won't ever be topped. I mean, what is left?
Hallelujah. Praise the Lord. No, I'm serious.
What is left to top this? I don't think there's anything else really, you know?
And again, you know, it's good to know good people in the gaming scene because
I know what it is.
There's a shout out that goes to the Manly manager Ryan Brown, because he's such
what can Brown do for you?
Well, he's just an awesome person. First of all, if you guys haven't, you know, you've seen Ryan on the show, but go down to Retro Games Plus and go see Ryan. And just a selfless guy who wants to help, who wants people to have a good time and enjoy their retro experiences. And you know, he's very thoughtful, and I'm sure that there could have been anybody that he suggested to get this item, but Trenton is such a fan of this system, and he knew that it would be very special for him, and so a huge shout out goes to Ryan for helping us make this happen, and so we're just very thankful to Ryan for this final pickup, for helping to facilitate it.
And that, my friends, is the Atari Jaguar CD
Holy Grail
attachment for
super duper Holy Grail
for your Atari Jaguar.
Yeah,
there's
one in every state, and that's it.
Yeah,
that's a really cool looking system.
It is.
Yes.
Too bad it wasn't.
Stop there with that statement.
Yeah, that's it. Just cuts off right there. That's a cool looking system.
And the box and all of the stuff, basically brand new.
Yeah, I mean, we opened it up. We posted it on our Instagram.
Check it out on the Instagram.
Basically, allegedly was never played. I mean, it looked like it. I mean, the system and everything was mint. I mean, the Myst demo was never opened. It looks, everything was mint inside of it. I said the outer box is a little beat up, but that's fine. That doesn't even really matter.
Structurally, it's intact though.
Yeah. So we booted it up. And we thought it might have not worked. They booted up, and then it was just like the screen was all black and red. Mm-hmm. And I was like, oh no, this is 25 years.
It just had to wake up. So
I think our connection on the back was just a little loose. Popped it in, blue lightning, fired it up right away, and it's actually a solid, I think, fun game. Yeah, I mean, maybe in '95 it wasn't what you were expecting out of a Jaguar CD.
Different time,
but in
experience.
2022, 23, it's a gem. So now I need to get all 12, 13 games for it.
Which is more attainable than the system almost. What do you think about it?
Yeah, for sure. And it's funny because like there's like 10 games on the back of the box, and like only half of them actually came out.
Yeah. I mean, sometimes it happens with the marketing for a system.
But like, yeah, there's 10 games of
Eternal Champions never came out on the Saturn.
Yeah, like of these, like Brett Hull's Hockey never came out. Robinson's Requiem, nope. Creature Shock, Demolition Man, Black Ice, and Jack Nicklaus.
Although, even though there's technically a short list of games that came out, there were a bunch that were in production, and there are repros of a lot of those games.
Yeah,
that you can find.
So what you had got was Soulstar.
There's a boot cart or disc or something you need.
So yeah, there's a bypass cartridge that you need.
How can you get that?
My Atari has them.
I really want to check out Soul. I mean, Soulstar is one of my favorites. I don't even have it. But you got 2 versions of it now, and I want to check out this Jaguar version.
Yeah, my Atari sells the bypass cartridge. It's like $40.
Okay, that's not bad.
Yeah,
definitely have to hook that up.
Yeah. So now.
So how does it feel to be a Jaguar CD and Jaguar owner now? It's like, now it's possible now.
Some
right?
things you never thought were possible.
I was holding on to that thing since August. It was hard. It was really painful.
Because I remember at the Syracuse show, one guy had one. I wasn't gonna buy it, but I mean, he's like, oh, $1,200. It's in the box.
Which is kind of right on.
Yeah, no, it
and that's
is.
without tax. That's without shipping. That's
But just one of those things that you're like, maybe down the line I'll maybe get one.
It's definitely on the list of like, when you think about limited quantity, it's up there with like Panzer Dragoon Saga, like very limited, and it's a console. It's not like a game. So these things can be temperamental, and a lot of the systems that came out for the Jaguar CD were faulty.
It's probably maybe like
the most limited mainstream sort of company.
Yeah, I was trying to think like top 3 of like the least produced. They made 20,000. That's it.
But
they only did
half
one
of those
run.
have to not work.
Yeah, well, I'm just yeah. Who knows? Yeah, they probably not. They could not even be anywhere. They just could have been destroyed. Like someone just was like it broke, or it's just gone forever. So,
but it's such a piece of history that it's just cool that you own it, because it's just it's not even like a natural resource. It's like something that you have to. There's none of it. It's like iridium or something. I don't know. Some crazy element that doesn't exist. You know. And it's just it's a once they're gone, they're gone. I mean, there's nothing you can do, right?
Yeah.
But we also have somebody who can fix it if something does happen. That Marcelo can, he lives and breathes the Jaguar, so he can deal with those. I wonder how many he's worked on. Jaguar CDs.
Oh, Jaguar CDs. I mean, quite a few, I think.
I imagine,
because like I'm in the Jaguar groups or on Facebook or whatever. And every once in a while, someone will be like, "Oh, just got my Jaguar CD back from Marcelo, running fine." So I bet everyone that's in the group are all the people that own all the Jaguar CDs.
I really enjoyed being a part of that moment when you opened it up, and I thought it was really special.
You should put the video on here.
It's on Instagram. They can see it. I don't know.
Just throw it on at the end.
Throw it on, but it was just an awesome moment, and I'm just really glad that you finally own it. And I know that system is so special to you, and as it's sort of like that underdog system that everybody crapped on, and there's some good experience on there.
Yeah,
I wouldn't necessarily say the CD, but
the Jaguar CD. Yeah.
But nonetheless, it's a piece of gaming history that not many people get a chance to see, let alone play, and for it to be in that condition that you had it.
I know, right?
It's
just the fact
surreal.
That it's like it was only 20,000. That was then. So now, like, I guess if you put a ballpark figure, maybe half.
I was gonna say like 10,000.
Yeah.
So it's got to be pretty limited, but who knows, man? Maybe I know that they've created games for it, right? They've created the Jaguar
newer?
CD.
Like, what do you mean?
Like, people have made games for the Jaguar CD.
Oh, yeah. Newer one? Yeah, there's a few. Nothing
huge.
Like, kind of like basic style games. Nothing like really complex or anything. It's like, you're talking about the owner who's going to buy a Jaguar CD. I mean, you're only going to sell at most like a couple hundred copies, maybe. Where like
I would think the sell through would be a pretty high amount relative to the amount of people who own it, because they're all in it.
No, but I'm saying, I mean, the Jaguar's already limited, but those people that have it, a couple 100,000 is like hardcore. Jaguar CD is a quarter of that, so I don't think anyone's I don't think anyone's really made any of the stuff they have are just like remade games. Like Soulstar was already a game, or it's the stuff like they.
But that's even cool when they can re-release something like that, or finally finish it.
Because not even like my Atari Age and like Telegames or whatever, they'll like Atari Age still puts out like new Jaguar 60, new Jaguar games, but I don't think they've ever done like CD games really. You know.
Well, either way, I'm glad you own it, and it's a special thing. You put it up there on the GameCube, on the gaming cube that you have, then
in all its splendor.
I think the cartridge port on the back actually works better than the Jaguar itself. So
yeah,
I don't know.
It's like I almost don't want to use it.
So did you take it out? Did you not plug it in?
What? No, it's sitting on my system setup.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I have it there.
Oh, all right.
Because I asked Marcelo, I was like, "Is it fine to like use the cartridge port like
for
continuously, all the time, or should I like only use it to play the CD?" He's like, "No, it's fine."
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm sure he can handle it if something happens. Cool, man. Well, it was. I would have to say I really enjoyed 2022 in terms of gaming. All the experiences we were able to have, the pickups we were able to get. We were able to get that modified tube TV for you.
CRT.
The CRT with the RGB directly in there, which looks crispy, and with our main man Johnny up in Enfield, who does the TV mods. I'm very thankful to Johnny. So Johnny, if you're listening, thank you, brother. But yeah, hopefully you guys had a fantastic year and continue to grow in retro gaming. Share this with the people that you love and care about. And when I say that, I mean retro gaming. And share the podcast with people that you know that would like this content. Subscribe if you're not already. We'll look forward to continued episodes this year. Remember that everything that's good in gaming or otherwise comes from our Lord and Savior above. Be safe, be happy, be healthy, and as always, keep it turbo.
Piggy pie.
Nope.
Yes.
Oh, phone.
Oh. Ring.
Ring, 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 ring.
Hip, 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 hip. Ring. Ring.
Hello? Hello? Hi.
Meow.
Hi.
Yep. Cat. Yep, 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 yep.
Hello?
Dad, remember? Dad, remember the first part?
Yep.
Nope.
Yep.